Hi, I'm Kevin Gilmer.
Corey McCoy.
Logan Bailey.
And I'm Dave Peterson. Well, good morning, everyone. And we are here on behalf of the Draper, Aden Associates company, and we were tasked to design a project on Turner Street. Now, to some of you, this may be familiar. Turner Street, this project is located in Blacksburg. In fact, it's walking distance from where we are right now. And this right here shows you kind of an overhead. And without further ado, we'll do our site zoom in. So, voila. As you can see, Buffalo Wild Wings is right there, and Wendy's to the north, and we are right around here, for those of you who are not familiar with the area. And so we were tasked by this project to design a residential commercial district, and in a little bit, Logan's going to talk a little bit more about the zoning for that. So we were basically tasked to design as many buildings as we could that were commercial, retail on the first floor, and residential on the top floors, however many that may be, with about 14 rooms, 3 bedrooms on the upper, 3 bedrooms per floor, per room. Sorry, 14 rooms. And a couple of the constraints were that we had to have at least 2 roads, one private and one public. The public road had to extend from Turner Street, which is this one right here on the south, and had to go basically follow the existing, or could follow the existing original road on the west side and connect up with Buffalo Wild Wings, and then connect also to Giles Road that goes out to Main Street in the north. And that would be the private, or the public street, sorry. The private street also had to connect to Turner Street, and basically could go anywhere else. We weren't limited by that. So we also had to maintain pedestrian access to Buffalo Wild Wings. So in a little bit you'll see that there are sidewalks that go that way. And we had to also assume that all utilities running through the site were abandoned. So without further ado, Logan will further discuss site information.
So this is the zoning for Blacksburg. You can see that our site is right here. We have 4.43 acres. Because it's downtown commercial zoning, it's a by right use for what we have planned. And the convenience of the site, as David mentioned, we're real close walking distance to Virginia Tech, and we have 2 bus stops nearby, and it was nice not having a wetlands to deal with in the design process. Here's our existing utilities. In the upper left corner, the blue is where we're going to be connecting to the stormwater. And there's existing water lines under Turner Street as well as Gilbert Street up by Wendy's. We're going to be connecting to both of those. And there's an existing sewer line over in the Chucho's parking lot. We'll be connecting to that as well.
This was our chosen layout for the site. We have our 2 existing connections, or our access to our site from Turner Street. Our 2 locations are tying into the parking lot at Buffalo Wild Wings at the top and connecting to Giles Street at the top as well. We have 3 buildings on our site and 2 parking lots. The parking lots won't have enough parking for the apartment complexes on the 2nd floor of our buildings. So the owner of the apartment complex should know that and tell his residents that beforehand, because it's stated in Blacksburg zoning ordinance that in downtown commercial district, parking is not necessary for residential buildings because they're trying to keep it pedestrian friendly. They don't want a whole lot of parking lot on their site. They want more buildings, more green space, that sort of thing. Our rejected layout is this one, which also had 3 buildings, a smaller parking lot, and a median in our road. And we didn't like it as much because we weren't using our site to the fullest. We decided to put more parking on there for more customers to the commercial restaurants on the first floor and more parking for the residents in the apartment complex. This is our roadway. Our maximum slope was 10% from the zoning ordinance, and our minimum slope was 0.5%. And I think our roads average about 2 to 3% slope through the site. Our parking lots are shown here. At the top, our elevation is close to 10 to 12 feet higher than any other elevation along Turner Street or Giles Street. So grading for that was a little bit tricky. We tried to keep it without a retaining wall at first, and we were having a hard time keeping our roads under that 10% slope and our minimum 0.5% slope. So we decided to put a retaining wall in at this part of our site where you can see is a steep slope. And we kind of kept the site as flat as possible. And as you can see here, this is about our low spot, and that is our location of our retaining pond for both of our site layouts. And we have an area of steep slope here, which was above 25%. And to maximize the site, we decided that it was necessary to grade that out and to use as much of the site as possible. And Kevin is going to talk about stormwater management now.
So for the stormwater, we did have to design for the 2 and 10-year storm in Blacksburg. The 10-year pre-development peak flow was 5.5 cubic feet per second, and the 10-year post-development peak flow was roughly 11 cubic feet per second. We did use that to size our retention basin. That came out to about 2,285 feet cube. As you can see from the hydrograph, we took the difference between the pre and post. This is the site layout of our inlets. We did have inlets located from the top building down. There is a swell that runs, and that's where our longest time. The site was split into 2 drainage. A is the majority of the site, which is going to be drained towards our retention basin, and the smaller drainage area, B, is going to be tying into an existing stormwater located at the lower portion here of the site. We did size the pipes using the rational method, and we chose 15-inch reinforced concrete pipe to convey all the stormwater on the site.
So here we have our water distribution system. We have it looped. As you can see, it's connecting up by Wendy's and over to Turner Street. It's looped because it's required here in Blacksburg. And for sizing our pipes for the water flows, we got it from the Virginia Department of Health. The fire flow regulated by Blacksburg is 1,000 gallons per minute. And we did maintain 10-foot horizontal separation as well as 18-inch vertical separation between the water and sewer lines. Here's our sewer distribution, our sewer network, very similar shape to the water. To size those, we drew numbers from the Virginia Sewage Collection and Treatment regulations, and using this modified Manning's equation, we came up with the sizes, and we have all of it draining downhill towards the Chucho's parking lot.
Okay, so prior to construction, phase 1, erosion and sediment control, we implemented a safety fence around the perimeter to protect from crazy students and other people trying to get into the site. And around the southern and western portion where the natural contours are sloping, we provided a silt fence. And as you can see with the red triangles, we've implemented a diversion dike system that would bring all the water to two located sediment traps placed in the low elevations. And these sediment traps represent the two natural low points within the site that our two drainage divides suggest. And you might be asking yourself, hey, wasn't there a building right there where that huge drainage or diversion dike is going? And the answer to that is that those buildings haven't been built yet. So obviously they would disappear for the phase 2. And we also have construction entrances located where the 2 roads will be. So that'll bring us to phase 2. Phase 2, we kept the same practices. As I mentioned, the diversion dike disappears. Okay.
Discuss the cost estimate there.
Yes.
Quickly.
The cost estimate was roughly $1,900,000. The majority of the cost was from the pavement and grading. And to reduce the cost, we were going to remove one of the parking lots because the slope in one of the upper portions was just, we had to cut so much there, and the grading was just ridiculous amount of money to spend. So that was one way and also reduce the lane width from 15 to 12 feet if we could get it passed.